to me. Alright, back to Empire Total War. I'm currently covering the Road to Independence.
Sega.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do the whole, the entire. Yeah, I'm gonna do. Because today is July 4th, I usually don't do this. I'm gonna be doing multiple uploads in one day.
There, boys! Bring her about!
Alright. Road to Independence. Yeah, there's 4 episodes. Yeah, you can't play as the United States in the main campaign. Like you can in a Paradox game. In a Paradox game, like sometimes the United States, like for example, when Europe versus the United States gets its own scenario. Not in this. Okay, in April 1607, 3 Virginia Company ships sailed into Chesapeake Bay under the command of Captain Christopher Newport. They made landfall on the southernmost peninsula in the bay, naming it Cape Henry in honor of the prime Prince of Wales. Life for the early settlers was far from easy, even though they ruled themselves. Newport returned to England for supplies, leaving Captain John Smith and a acquitted mutineer in charge. The limited food supplies, the constant presence of disease, and the danger of attack by the native tribes. Many of the settlers perished within a few months of reaching the New World. If this new community is to flourish, they will need food in the shape of farms and forest fisheries. A cash crop like tobacco will prove the financial viability of the colony to those back home to England, and much needed income for the settlers. Complacency, however, is dangerous. The native tribes remain a threat. Yeah, the Jamestown colony. This also serves as, I think, I don't know, this also serves as a tutorial. I already know how to play Empire. I think either episode 2 or episode 3 is when it stops being a tutorial. I haven't played Road to Independence in so long. Yeah. Let's go. June 1735, Bunker Hill.
Our war on British tyranny begins tonight. In Boston, brave men fight for the right to govern themselves. Tonight, we fight for freedom. As I bear witness to the sacrifice of this generation, I take great comfort in the memory of our forefathers. Those pioneering men who traveled to these shores seeking a new life. Like the intrepid Captain John Smith and his fellow settlers, we too seek a new world. Not only for ourselves, but for future generations of Americans. As I look back on their endeavors, at the unknown dangers that awaited the pioneers over every rise and behind every tree, I am reminded that I play but a small part in a much greater story.
Ready yourselves, men! Stay behind cover, men!
They're
charging again! Steady! Hold the line!
I bet you're wondering why I'm not covering the America's campaign. Because it's far too early. That's why. It's far too early. Yeah, that's too early. You said too early. So
Watch the trees, man! On the right!
Pie Confederacy. Jamestown Settlers. Johnny McBain. She yeah, arrows. Remember, this is baby's first mission, and I have it on easy, so yeah. Chesapeake. Chesapeake. Jamestown, 1607.
From the very beginning, there have been hardships, irreplaceable losses. Brothers, fathers, sons lost to war, famine, and disease. And yet our forefathers endured, refusing to give up on the one thing they all believed in so fervently: freedom. Those brave men built a future from an inhospitable land, taming it and making it their own. But the wild land was not the only threat. The natives were a constant menace, lurking at their borders, always ready for battle. It became obvious that until borders were clearly established, peace would continue to be elusive.
You must lead the early settlers to establish Jamestown as a safe and prosperous settlement in this dangerous new world. From time to time, the British government will issue various missions to perform. As you complete these missions, the wealth and security of Jamestown will improve, and your influence throughout the whole of the new world will expand. Having survived the immediate threat posed by the native tribes, your settlers have already gained valuable combat experience.
Chapter 1 at the beginning. Okay, a mission has been issued. Is the general consistency of the task stipulated here should be achieved the greater the nation. That's fine. Your first task in the new world should be the protection of the Jamestown settlement and the survival of its people. Building a farm in the designated area to the west of Jamestown, the colonists will be able to produce their own food and sustain themselves in the years ahead. From England are irregular and not guaranteed. You must make Jamestown self-sufficient in order for this fragile colony to survive. Okay, 500 gold as a reward.
A message box will inform you when this building has been constructed. The number in the hourglass indicates how many turns remain before completion.
Phenomenon.
This is Jamestown, the capital of the region of Virginia. The review panel at the bottom of the screen contains a recruitment tab and a construction tab. Use the recruitment tab to recruit units for your armies. This tab shows all units available for recruitment in the selected town, city, port, army or fleet. Right-click on a unit's picture to see its description. Left-click on a unit to add it to the queue, and again to remove it. Recruitment cost is displayed underneath. Recruitment time is shown in the top left-hand corner. You have entered a unit into the recruitment queue. A message box will inform you when this unit is ready to use. The number in the hourglass indicates how many turns remain before completion. You can end your turn at any time by clicking the End Turn button. Other nations will then have their respective turns.
Since there's only one, it shouldn't be that big a deal. Okay. The basis of all agriculture, the humble peasant, laboring in the field to bring in his master's crops, or to keep his master's animals alive. Day-to-day life for a peasant farmer had barely changed in 1,000 years. It is a short, hard life of abject poverty and back-breaking labor. He can expect nothing better than to work and die in the same village, tilling the same fields, his life bounded by the same horizon. Peasant farms are not terribly efficient. The landowners have little interest in anything beyond their rents and tithes. The problem for them is that peasant economies are, by their very nature, cash poor, and most income is in kind. And there is a limit to where you can spend a goat. Historically, life for a peasant was pretty much the same all over the world, work from dawn to dusk. In Russia, peasants were serfs tied to the land and the property of the landowner, as much as any cow or goat. In India, peasants were occasionally offered their social position by household custom. The system eventually broke down in Western Europe thanks to industrialization, needing constant supply of workers, and changes in land usage. Alright, congratulations. You have successfully completed this mission and have reaped the well-deserved rewards. May your aspiring leadership endure, and may you enjoy the further success as you lead the people to greatness. Okay, as trade has been in the region, City Village has grown to a new port. A new mission. Taking advantage of the fishery. Unlock Chapter 2. Taking advantage of the bounty of the ocean will help to sustain your growing population. Building a fishery in the eastern coast will improve the region's food supply. Prepare your people for expansion in the northern territories. Alright. Inhabitants of colonial towns sometimes take up arms to defend themselves. No one can afford a plentiful, cheap source of food. Inshore fishing can bring in good catches. A local fishery, however, only takes fish from the waters nearby, and most fishermen use small workboats, thus limiting the overall size of the catch. There's always a surplus that can be sent inland to supplement local food supplies. While catches can be seasonal as the fish come and go according to the tides and currents, it is rare for the catch to fail completely. Fishing is a dangerous activity. Each year the sea claims its share of the fish fleet in the lives of many men. Historically, fish was an important food staple all around the world. There were religious prescriptions that encouraged eating of fish, such as the Catholic requirement not to eat flesh on Friday. Islamic and Jewish presence sees fish with scales as halal permissible, while some authorities hold that shells are haram forbidden. Given the bottom-dwelling nature of mussel clams and so on, there is a risk of food poisoning if they are improperly cooked. This is a sensible precaution.
Oh, you have successfully built a peasant farm and local fishery in the Jamestown region. Jamestown should now grow and prosper, so it's time to deal with the threat from local native tribes. Your next compulsory mission is to capture the village of Werowocomoco, deep into unknown territory to the northeast.
Alright. Werowocomoco. To the northeast lies the Native American stronghold of Werowocomoco. In order to expand your holdings in Virginia, the threat from the native settlement must be extinguished. Attacks on Jamestown and the surrounding farmsteads should cease. Conquer Werowocomoco in the name of the king. This settlement was home to Powhatan Princess Pocahontas, well renowned for preventing the execution of Captain John Smith.
March! 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 Waiting for orders.
Wait a minute.
Can't do that, sir.
This is your army. The highlighted area represents the extent to which this army can move this turn. Right-click within this area to move your army to that location.
Okay.
Forward! All line for battle! They are trapped. Lifting siege! Prepare for battle!
I know I should do a successfully complete the mission. Alright.
Oh, you have successfully captured the village of Werowocomoco and are well on the way to reducing the threat to Jamestown. The condition of victory for completing this episode is to capture the village of Shakamax.
Oh, chapter 3 for the, this episode. I thought it was chapter 3 for, the entire series, but no. Shakamax The last native American town lies to the north of the foothills of the mountains. It's secure, well defended. Fair catch up place and work for the lost. Fending off the third pope and the native tribes, expansion of the colony becomes possible. The no danger attack, immigrants from home will be more willing to come to the colony and search for a new life. Yeah, basically, complete episode 1.
There is often a choice of building types to construct in a resource slot. You can only follow one of these building chains. Once you have constructed the base building, subsequent upgrade options will only be available from the same chain.
Alright. A plantation is an estate carved from the virgin forest of new territory for growing one cash crop for export to the home market. There are tremendous profits made growing crops to satisfy the demand for luxury goods in Europe and elsewhere, but also tremendous risks. Crops may fail, slaves may revolt, and once the crop cargo is gathered, the ships carrying it home may sink. Plantations are labor intensive, especially during harvest time. They will not necessarily be profitable without indentured or slave labor. Slaves are self-explanatory, but indentured labor was a result of the European taste for transporting convicted felons to the colonies. Once a criminal arrived, several years of forced or cheap labor would be imported on him or her, and this indenture could be traded to a plantation owner. It's probably buy out the indenture and become free. An option is rarely available to slaves. Originally, the English word plantation was used to refer to any colony planted in the location, even the Scottish settlers in Ulster were a plantation. There are no implications from one cash crop. Yeah, I like reading the later descriptions. It's very, very educational. Alright. Okay, it's the same one. Alright. So, given... Alright. Because of the icon, I'm going to choose cotton.
Forward! March! Anything more?
This piece cannot move any further now. It will be available again next turn. New units have been recruited. Left-click to select Jamestown.
Waiting further order.
Left-click on the Army tab to view your garrisoned units. Left-click on a unit card to select it. You can press and hold the control key to select multiple units.
Onward! At the ready! Immediately! Waiting for orders. More orders? Your orders? Ready and awaiting orders. Your orders, Your Majesty. Forward! For cross
Shaka Maxon.
country! Anything more? Sir, your orders? Onwards! Ready and waiting for orders.
You have selected a target outside the green highlighted area. This means your character cannot reach his target this turn. Provided that an enemy does not block his path, your character will continue on his journey next turn.
Prepare for borders!
Alright.
Winning a battle isn't just about greater numbers. The balance of units and the commander's ability are essential. Look at the strength ratio, weather and reinforcement information before committing yourself. But beware. If you're attacked, it may not be possible to avoid combat. The buttons at the bottom of this panel represent your battle options. Mouse over to see what each one does.
Alright. John Smith versus Albert Seneca. Alright.
During the deployment phase, you can secretly arrange your units inside the deployment zone before battle commences. The enemy general will deploy his men within the opposite area. When you're ready to fight, click on the cross swords icon in the center of the screen. The special abilities buttons are found in the bottom right corner of the screen. These turn on any special formations or abilities a selected unit has available to it. The button is disabled for those units without. Maintaining a unit's courage and regimental discipline in the heat of battle is dependent on their morale, a measure of pride and self-belief. The Run button in the bottom right of the screen can be used to toggle the selected units between running or walking. Running is useful for going somewhere in a hurry, but doing it too much will tire the men out. Enemy cavalry are readying an attack on the flanks of your already engaged infantrymen. Either pull them back or commit other troops in support.
Is it cavalry? I don't see any. Yeah, I don't see any cavalry.
Flashing unit banner means the morale of their troops is wavering. Before long, they'll break from combat and rout from the field. Take this opportunity to charge their ranks with cavalry or infantry with bayonets fixed. The battle is over when all troops in an army are routed or killed.
Yep. That's how most Total War games work. Yeah, the reason why I'm not doing medieval to Americans campaign is because it's far too early. It's too early. In the timeline, that's why I'm not picking it. Even though it's fascinating. But yes, it's far too early. In the United States, it's far too early. I want to know this. Okay. Yeah, they're getting shattered. Pursuing. Yeah, most of them are shattered. Yeah, they're isn't doing senior disasters anymore. So probably never. So yeah, but I don't want to get to the point in my campaign where I have to send a disaster campaign. So I'm usually good enough for the game where if I'm gonna do it will probably be on purpose, which I don't really do.
Lower quality infantry make great targets for the enemy to waste their missiles on. They can protect high-value units by drawing fire.
Yeah, there's a timer. I'll look once I'm done with this episode. I don't know if the kids are off. Yeah, this is the flag of England. I don't know if the Jamestown colonists even had their own flag. Yeah, the Virginia colonists. I don't know if they even. So I'm guessing they're using England's flag as a stand-in. England's flag. Oh, they're just sitting there. Alright, heroic victory.
Battle statistics are displayed here, along with a breakdown of the condition of each surviving unit in your army or navy. The button on the right-hand side breaks the statistics down to a per-unit level. There has been an eruption of national pride in your home region following your victories on the field of battle. Every time a battle is won, your region capital is the central city for control of a region. Empire Total War differs from previous Total War. Ports do not just facilitate overseas trade. Upgrading to a dockyard also allows naval vessels to be built.
At the ready!
A very large army or navy spread over 2 or more unit stacks may not be able to fight.
Hide behind women's skirts.
As population growth is slow here, it is recommended that you upgrade farms or bring lower-class taxes down. Troops can be stationed inside a city to provide defense in the event of an attack. Whilst there, they also act as a deterrent for any rebellious tendencies among the population.
Alright. I have plenty of money, so it's not that big a deal.
Enemy fleet ahoy!
Alright. To Eris Human. To Brigadier Divine. Yeah, there's the native house, native to, yeah, the native settlement. Yeah, I never really cared too much about historical accuracy, because these games aren't that accurate to begin with. So yeah, I don't really care much about historical accuracy. Alright. So that I don't get attacked in the rear. Okay. Yeah, shatter. They won't come. Yeah, they're done. Citizenry. Alright. Two chevrons. Nice. Yeah, that was in total. Can get messy. Yep, mass routing. Alright. Tired chapter. Alright. Celebrating Independence Day. But There's only one more left. I always hang near the edge. Okay. Yeah, I have to go all the way to the edge of the map. Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically one lead. Yeah, basically one. End of the episode anyway, so I don't really need to worry about that guy who had 2 chevrons. Alright. Yeah, the Jamestown settlers. I never really need to pursue them. It's the end of the campaign. It's the end of the episode. And here I am, John Smith.
Following capture of a capital city, it is important to leave an adequate garrison behind to quell unrest until both the population level and any damaged buildings are fully restored. Exempting the region from tax may also be helpful in the short term.
Colonization of the New World is successful. Thanks to your efforts, the Jamestown settlement has prospered. No longer reliant on food from England, the settlers can start amassing wealth and expanding Britain's colonies in America. The Jamestown settlement had made a good start, but complacency is a dangerous thing. As word of the successful colonization of the New World spreads, more people arrive from the Old World. Other European nations have taken note of your success. The two look at the New World to possible expansion of their known interests. Nevertheless, these American lands are not endless. Competition is inevitable.
As time went by, hostilities between the natives and settlers began to fade, and more ships carrying the hopeful arrived daily. Over the next 100 years, the population swelled, and the fight for territory began. Both the British and the French set their sights on the valuable Ohio Valley. And when the French built a line of forts across the valley, I was sent to demand the instant withdrawal of their troops. They refused, and the British retaliated by sending an army under General Braddock to take the valley by force. I was lucky enough to be an officer in that army. Braddock's limited knowledge of his surroundings and his refusal to listen to counsel led to his downfall. He marched us straight into a French ambush. Our men were massacred. The cries of the wounded still haunt my dreams. This terrible loss encouraged the British to take a closer look at the tactics and cunning employed by their native allies. Use of these warriors and their knowledge of the land would prove to be the key to claiming the Ohio Valley.
The French have established a series of forts in the Ohio Valley. These forts are well defended and will be difficult to take through military force alone. Perhaps the Iroquois tribe to the north will provide you with some much-needed assistance.
Alright, that's the end of chapter 1, and episode 1, and the beginning of episode 2. I will be covering this in a separate video. Because this was supposed to be about episode 1, not episode 2. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments. So, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.